I'm a line. Bad bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate.
Hello, welcome.
G'day. Alright, so second dot boy, right? Do men really want to protect women?
Yeah.
That you're genuinely asking that question like you want to know.
Yeah, because I think the answer is no.
Oh, well, see, that's where you're wrong. Right. So
Oh, okay.
what do you when you get a man, right, you got a boyfriend, right?
I'm
And
sorry, it's really hard to hear you.
oh well, fuck it. Right, so you have a boyfriend, right? I'm not saying you do.
No, I
But
have a
say
girlfriend.
oh well, that's okay. Well, say you have a partner, right? You care about them,
Okay, so
and
this partner can be a man or a woman?
yeah, whatever.
Okay, okay.
So you got a partner, right? You care about them, they care about you, and well, ideally they'd care about you. I'm not too sure, but you'd want them to, do what they can to make you happy. And if you're in a dangerous situation, that you'd expect them to, care for you and like protect you. Now, you're not saying that men don't want to protect women. That's pretty far fetched. That's because
I don't think
from
so at all.
from you having a girlfriend, it's different than having a boyfriend. Like a boyfriend will
I've
protect
had
their
boyfriends
girlfriend.
as well. But go ahead, finish your point. I apologize.
Oh, yeah, right. So like having a boyfriend, the boyfriend would want to protect you because he's with you for a reason because he cares about you like that. That's what he wants to do. Like,
Why would you say statistically that the person most likely to abuse women is their significant others, friends, or family? It's these people that have been appointed as the protector.
oh well, a boyfriend is your safe. Like a bloke is your safe place from other places. Like, say you got, like he'll be there unconventionally. Like your family, you might have biffs with your family, and you might go to your boyfriend for security and whatnot, and he's going to be there because he cares. So he's got. I wouldn't say he's an outsider, but he's outside from your family. And like, if you got family issues, he's
No,
there.
that's not what I asked. So when I talk about protect, I mean like in terms of violence. So when it comes to women experience violence, why statistically do women experience a majority of the violence from their significant others, from men in their lives that are to quote unquote protect them?
Well, that depends on your choice in men. You can't stereotype every man from your experiences with particular men.
I'm not. I'm asking you about the reality of gender-based violence. And I don't think it's really weird to me that you kind of blame women for that, like, oh, you just picked a bad man, rather than actually understand or even having an analysis of the construction of heterosexual relationships. I don't think women have bad pickers. I think heterosexual relationships have this dominant, submissive construction to where women need to submit and depend on a man, and that puts them in an authoritative position to abuse.
But that all comes down to the like how what situation the woman puts her in. Like she can easily say, "No, I'm not going to be dominated by you. I'm independent and whatnot." And then like yeah, there's nothing stopping in a relationship for having a girl who says to the bloke, "Oh, I'm not going to be submissive and whatnot." It's basically it all comes down to what type of relationship you're in.
Let me maybe, because I don't feel you answer my question. Let me maybe ask you in a different way. Would you say that an overwhelming majority of violence is committed by men?
Well, yes, but that's also on
Okay.
type of man.
So, yes. So, if that is true, why is violence a men's issue?
Well, man, like it wouldn't. I wouldn't say it's all men's issues, but the majority of men that are violent, they're like, I'm not saying they're good people. They're definitely not. Like no one deserves to be put violence on, especially by a relative or caring person. That's just all on the
Saying
type
it's
of
not
man
all
he is.
men doesn't address my question. If you and I can agree that a majority of violence in the world is done by men, why is it men? Why do they predominantly commit a majority of the violence? Why don't we see it between both genders in an equal? Because it's overwhelmingly 99% of sexual assault perpetrators are men. Four-fifths of people who commit violence are men. So why is this a men's issue?
Because, but that's like you're saying that it's not 100% men. Like you said,
I
not
don't
not
think it
all of them.
has to be
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah,
hundred
yeah.
percent, but
I
it's
know.
predominantly committed
Yeah.
by one gender. And I want you to answer why. Because this is my whole point. If men actually deconstruct why men commit violence and then actually speak out against that, I think that would keep women safer. I don't think women need to link arms with a man in order to receive protection from other men. That just perpetuates this patriarchal structure of male dominance and female submission. What would
Well,
really protect women is if men stop hurting us.
I like as I've said before. In my opinion, I might not be right. I might be right. Who knows? Like in my opinion, it all comes down to what sort of man you are and what sort of bloke you have around you.
So why do men have what, I don't know how many times I can ask you this. Why is it a men's issue?
Oh, mate, I've got
It's
no
not a
idea.
human issue. It's
Look,
a
I've got
men's issue.
no idea. I've got no idea what goes through those
Okay.
blokes' heads.
So,
It's basically
so I
on what.
think, great. And you know what? I asked this question probably, to every person that comes up here and talks about this topic. And men don't have answers. So, do you think that men could be more helpful in understanding violence and speaking out against that violence rather than just kind of perpetuating the system that women need to link arms with a man in order to receive protection?
Oh, not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
They don't. They
So
don't.
men
They don't
really don't
need.
want to protect women.
No, well, they don't. They don't need a bloke to have protection. But men, if you have a good man, he will be willing to unconditionally.
Well, I disagree with that because the men who abuse women are the quote unquote protectors. And if we look at like the bystander effect, especially when it
I'm
comes
not
to
talking about.
sexual,
I'm not talking about the men who abuse women. That's why.
that
That's
is the
why I said.
reality. That is the reality
That's why I
of,
said.
of
That's why I
gender-based
said good
violence is
men.
that women are committed violence against their inner circle of men.
But I said the good men. They will protect unconditionally because there are good
Okay,
men out there that will.
great. Do you have anything else?
I think trans is bullshit.
Why?
Mate, like I've got no issue with you being, you want to be gay, you want to have a misso, you want to have a girlfriend or whatever.
That doesn't answer my question.
Yeah, no, hang on, I'm getting to my point. All right, calm down, chill out.
Okay. I'm not,
You can be
I don't know why
trans.
you're telling me to calm down when I'm clearly not overreacting, being emotional, being hostile, being aggressive. Like, what do you mean by calm down?
I should have started writing down how many times you've interrupted me. That's rather rude of you.
Well, I just want you to answer my question. Like, you acknowledge you don't get paid per word, right?
I don't care. I don't want to get paid for talking to you anyway.
What?
I don't want to get paid for talking to you. I'm just expressing my opinion. Look, I've got no problem with anyone being whatever they want to be. You can do that. You know, go your hardest. That's
Well, you
free
said
choice. You can
being
do that.
trans is bullshit, and I'm asking you why. And you're just saying, well, I don't really care. If you want to be who you are, that's fine. But you haven't answered my
Yeah,
question. Why is trans bullshit?
I said you can be gay and all that. Like, just don't try and push it onto other people. Trans, that's not who you are. That you're trying to be someone you're not.
By what barometer? What do you mean?
All right, so biologically, you were born. Say you're a girl and trans into a boy. You've biologically been born as a woman, and you've
No
changed
one is
into a man.
biologically born as a woman. Like, babies are not women.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mischaracterize them? Girls, sorry.
Well, yes, like, because you acknowledge that babies aren't women. And, like, why is my body what determines my gender?
No, it's your chromosomes. You got X and Y chromosomes, and you got X chromosomes. It's
Well,
DNA.
no, that's not the characteristic that determines sex, because there are intersex people who have chromosomes that don't, what you would say, match like being female or male. But again, it doesn't answer my question. Why does my body determine my gender?
You're one or the other. Honestly, you're either born with X and Y chromosomes, or X. You're born with one of the others, and
Are
that
you
determines
familiar
how
with
you grow.
Swyer syndrome?
What?
Are you familiar with Swyer's syndrome?
No, I don't really care about that, honestly, because I'm expressing my
Well,
opinion
you
here.
should, because it disproves what you're saying.
All right, well, fill me in then.
Swyer syndrome is where you have an XY chromosomal structure, but your SRY gene did not develop on your Y chromosome. Therefore, you developed what are female genitalia. So there are females who have an XY chromosomal structure.
Oh, well, I'd just say they're a bit deformed, underdeveloped, or whatever you want to call it, in
No,
the nicest way
intersex,
possible.
1 second. Intersex is just variations of genetic sex markers. It is not an abnormality. It is not a deformation. It is just a variation, just like hair color is a variation.
Yeah, but how often does that occur?
So when genitalia is ambiguous, we have that statistical data about 1.7%. But there are other intersex conditions where genitalia is not ambiguous. But however, there can be men who have an XX chromosomal structure, whose external genitalia match other males' external genitalia, but internally they have a uterus and ovaries. So it's estimated that around 5% of the population has an intersex condition, which is more than there are redheads. Would you say that redheads are deformed?
No, I wouldn't say redheads are deformed, because
Right.
they've become part of our society, and
It's a
there's
variation. It's a variation of hair color, just like intersex conditions are a variation of different genetic sex markers. Thank you,
well,
RPT, for the raid. You're very sweet. Is that a potato? We got Tommy with the carrots, me with the pineapple, and RTP with the potato. Love it. And variation, evolutionary, is very good.
why? Like,
So
why? So why do we have to change it anyway? Like, where do we
change
draw the
what?
line? Like, why do we have to go through all this effort to make? Why does everyone have to accept your decisions in trans and whatnot?
I think it just goes to not being a bigot when it comes to variations in identity, that people can have the freedom to exist and tell people who they are without receiving hate or violence. or being
Yeah.
invalidated?
Yeah, but
I think that's
what
a
about
really simple question
what about the
or
majority of
answer.
people that what about the majority of people that are consistent with the original? With
What?
you know, what about the majority that are consistent in believing in the original man and woman only? What about the people that believe in that?
I think that they obviously can have education. And I would argue when we look at fourth wave feminism, since we're in the fourth wave, it really hasn't been titled what kind of issues it's addressing. But I think one of the foundations that it will be addressing that we see later in the future is this anti-sex and gender binary. Because I think this gender binary that has been constructed has very much been a result of colonialism and the patriarchy, because these are things that are supported through white supremacy as well as misogyny. So breaking free from that ideology, I think, would reduce harm, would allow people to express themselves in a safe way and find more fulfillment and meaningful relationships in the community.
Yeah, but on a different note, you know how the whole big thing around at the moment is freedom of speech, right?
I think conservatives like to outcry freedom of speech, but go ahead.
Oh, also, everyone's believing in giving every single person freedom of speech, and that's
What?
fair. Everyone wants freedom of speech, and that's fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion. So why do
I
my
think
opinion?
when, like, you have to, I mean, you must have some basis too that when your opinions are harmful and hateful towards a group of people, that it causes them violence and ostracization for no valid reason, that's an issue.
Yeah, but I've got, like
Do
I've
you
said,
agree
I've got
with what
no
I just
problem with
said?
them. Yeah. Oh,
Great.
hang
So
on. What I'm saying is I've got no problem with people being gay and whatnot. But why do I have to so-called be educated about it when I have my beliefs in the standard
well, because your
open women
beliefs are
only?
ignorant that are causing hate and harm. You said you're fine with gay people, but you called trans people bullshit, which I still don't think you've really elaborated on, which is very demeaning and dismissive. You've reduced women down to simply their bodies and not have any actual intellectual construction of what their gender is. As a cis woman who is empirically attractive to a lot of men, I have received hate and violence from stepping outside of my gender role, for not fitting into the box that the patriarchy wants me to fit in. And so
That's
other people who are even farther outside than I am receive that tenfold. And no, just like me feeling like I should have the freedom to express who I am without someone telling me you're not being the woman I want you to be, trans people deserve the same, trans men and women.
yeah, but that's like you're saying. You deserve the freedom to be who you want to be. So I should have the freedom to be who I want to be, and saying only man and woman.
You want the freedom to be an uneducated bigot? Is that what you're telling me?
So you're calling me an uneducated bigot?
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, so I'm uneducated because I don't want to
Are
learn
trans
about.
women women?
No.
Then yes, I would call you an uneducated bigot. When it came to
Why do
you
I?
identifying, one second, I'll substantiate my claim since you asked. When it came to you essentially giving me your premise on why they are not, since you're not female, you're not a woman, you clearly proved that you were not educated. And then your opening statement was that trans people are bullshit, clearly proves that you are bigoted because you are demeaning and dismissive of them. You do not seek to understand. You do not want to become more educated. And I would, like, you literally showed them hate. So, yes, I think you meet that criteria very well.
You're right. I don't want to be educated in that field because I believe in my ancestors and the thousands of people who come before me in the way they lived. They
And
came out
that's just
just fine.
willful ignorance.
Ignorance. My Tell you what, my father is twice the man of any bloke out here today.
Do you have anything else?
Oh, have fun there with your whole load of bullshit and your beliefs and whatnot.
Do you have anything else? That's a yes or a no.
I just told you, have fun with your whole lot of bullshit.
I'm sorry, you said no? Okay, great. Thanks for coming up.
I'm so fucking cute, bitch. I'm so fucking cute.